Welcome students, welcome to steam turbine class. In the last lecture we have learned about the different types of nozzle, flow through nozzle, the velocity of pressure pulse in fluid, the velocity of sound in ideal gas, the stagnation properties, the subsonic and supersonic nozzles, this kind of thing. Now we are going to learn about the critical pressure ratio and choke flow. Now the critical pressure ratio and choke flow. As you can see, it's a convergent divergent type nozzle. This part is called throat. Suppose a flow that is m less than 1, that means subsonic flow is flowing through the nozzle, and so at the outlet we get a supersonic flow, that is m greater than 1. So now let's apply the continuity equation. Okay, that means the mass flow rate, one second, that is the mass flow rate m dot is equals to density into area into velocity. Okay, for a given area, okay, or any cross section, for any cross section of the nozzle or of the duct, convergent divergent duct, we can write the mass flow rate equals to density of that section, area of that section, and velocity at that section. So the mass flow rate by the cross sectional area is equals to density into velocity. Okay, so from another thing, we know that this velocity is equals to the sonic velocity into the Mach number. This thing that we have already know, the Mach number equals to the velocity of the object by the sound velocity. So the object velocity or fluid velocity equals to sound velocity into Mach number. Okay, so that means V equals to C into M. Another thing, from the previous equations, we can write rho into the value of in case of value of C, uh, we can write root over gamma r t into m. Okay, and from the ideal gas law or gas equation, we can write rho equals to P by RT into root over gamma RT into M. Okay, so from this relation we can write, that is root over gamma by R into M by root T, okay, into P. So from this relation we can write M dot A equals to this root over gamma by R into M by root T into P. Okay, from the this relation, by simplifying we can write this. So again we can substitute the stagnation property into this equation. So by substituting the stagnation properties, we can write gamma by R into this P0 into M by root T, root T0 into T0 by T to the power half into P by P0. So in we just multiplied the P0 and P0 in the numerator and denominator, that is P0 by P0, and root over T0 by T0 we have multiplied in numerator and denominator in this equation, and we get root over gamma by R into P0 into M by root over t0 into t0 by t to the power half into p by p0. Okay, we get this kind of equation. Again, one second. Again, we can substitute the value of p by p0. So we get, that is gamma by r into p0 into m by root over t0 into t0 by t to the power half, and the value of p by p0 in terms of temperature, we can write 1 by t0 by t to the power gamma by gamma minus 1. This relation comes from the adiabatic flow, so we can write the value of m dot by a is equals to root over gamma by r into p0 into m by root over p0 by m, p0 into m by root over t0 into one by, that is 1 plus gamma minus 1 by 2 into m square. Okay, this thing that we have already proved earlier, to the power gamma plus 1 by 2 into gamma minus 1. Okay, so the value of m dot by a, the mass flow rate by the area, is equals to root over gamma by r into p0 by root t0 into m into watt by 1 plus gamma minus 1 by 2 into m square into to the power gamma plus 1 by 2 into gamma minus 1. Okay, so this is the equation. So to find out the maximum discharge, okay, we have to differentiate this value, that is m dot by a, we have to differentiate this value with respect to m, because in this equation gamma r, these two are the constant, p0 and t0, these are the stagnation properties, the stagnation pressure and stagnation temperature. So that means these two are also constant. So the value of mass flow rate by the area is only depends on the value of m. This mass flow rate by area, it depends only on the value of m. So to find out the maximum mass flow rate by the area, we have to differentiate this m dot by a with respect to m. Okay, so this is the conditions to find out the maximum discharge per area. We have to differentiate this value with respect to m, so that is equals to ddm of this equation. Okay, and we have to equate this differentiation value is equals to 0, so we get the maximum value. Okay, so now by differentiating this equation and equating it to 0, let's see what we get. So the value that we get by differentiating this thing, that is 1 minus m square into gamma plus 1 by 2 into 1 plus gamma minus 1 by 2 into m square. that is equals to 0. We get this equation by differentiating the above equation with and equating to 0. So we get this thing, and by solving this equation we get m square is equals to 1. By solving this equation we get m square equals to 1, or we can simply write m equals to 1. That means Mach number equals to 1. So the discharge is maximum when m equals to 1. So we can write, so discharge is maximum when m equals to 1. So the discharge is maximum when m equals to 1. Okay, and since the value of v equals to, since the value of v equals to c into m, we know that, so that is equals to root over gamma r t into m. Okay, and by logarithmic differentiation of this equation, we get dv by v is equals to m by dm by m plus half of dt by t. Okay, we get this sort of equation. So again, so this is the equation number 1, say, and we know that the temperature relation, that is T by T0 is equals to 1 plus gamma minus 1 by 2 into m square to the power minus 1. Okay, we know this is the relation. Okay, so again, by the logarithmic differentiation, let's see what we get. So by logarithmic differentiation we get dt by t is equals to gamma minus 1 into m square by 1 plus gamma minus 1 by 2 into m square into dm by m. So let's suppose it's equation number 2. So from the equation number 1 and equation number 2, by substituting the value of equation number 2 into the equation number 1, by substituting the equation number 2 value into equation number 1, we get the value of dv by v. Let's write from 1 and 2. From 1 and 2 we get the value of dv by v is equals to that is 1 by 1 plus gamma minus 1 by 2 into m square into dm by m. This is the value of dv by v that we get. Now a relation between dv by v and dA by A that we have already derived in the subsonic and supersonic nozzle section. We have already derived the dv by v and dA by A, the dv by v and dA by A relation, and that relation is that is dA by A is equals to m square minus 1 into dv by v. This relation that is already we have derived in this supersonic and subsonic nozzles section. So from this equation we can write the value of dA by A. So by substituting the value of dv into this equation we get the value of dA by A is equals to that is m square minus 1 into dm by m into 1 plus gamma minus 1 by 2 into m square. Okay, so this is the relation of area and the nozzle area and the Mach number. This is a relation between the nozzle area and the Mach number, very important. Okay, so from this equation we can comment that is when for in case of maximum discharge, that is in case of m equals to 1 is the maximum discharge per area. So for case of maximum discharge we get dA by A is equals to 0. For maximum discharge we get dA by A is equals to 0 from this equation. So that means the value of dA is equals to 0, or we can say A equals to constant. So for maximum discharge the area is constant, and this happens and this occurs only at throat and nowhere else. Okay, in case of convergent divergent nozzle, this maximum discharge happens when the m value is 1, and this occurs only at throat where the area is constant and nowhere else, because in the convergent area in the convergent portion the area is constantly decreasing, and in the divergent portion the area is constantly increasing. So that maximum discharge, that is m equals to 1, is happen only at the throat, that is it happens only at the throat. This maximum discharge is only happens only at the throat. Okay, so if the convergent divergent duct acts as a nozzle, the divergent part also, the pressure will fall continuously to yield a continuous rise in velocity. In other words, since we know that the V is equals to m dot by rho into A for a certain mass flow rate, that is m dot, with the decrease of pressure, the density decreases at a faster rate than the rate at which the area increases, as a result of which the velocity continues to increase, and this is true only for compressible fluid. The velocity of gas is subsonic before the throat and becomes sonic at the throat, that means m equals to 1, and when the subsonic till exit, and then it's supersonic till its exit, provided the exhaust pressure is low enough. The reverse situation prevails when the inlet velocity is supersonic. The whole duct then becomes a diffuser for an incompressible fluid. So the convergent divergent duct as a venturi, with the convergent part acting as a nozzle and the divergent part acting as a diffuser. The maximum limiting speed of such a fluid is sonic velocity. Okay, so when the m equals to 1 occurs at the throat, the discharge is maximum and the nozzle is said to be choked. That means at m equals to 1 the discharge is maximum at the throat. So at this situation we say the nozzle is choked and it is incapable of allowing more discharge even with further decrease in exhaust pressure. This discharge is known as critical discharge, and the property of throat under these conditions is called critical properties and designated by the superscript star, that as shown in this figure. For maximum discharge, that is P star by P0. Okay, these two are the pressure, P star by P0. P star is the critical pressure and the P0 is the stagnation pressure. So in a convergent nozzle, the velocity at exit from the nozzle is sonic when the discharge through is it maximum, and exit properties are critical properties. Now the substituting m equals to 1 into the temperature equation. So once again, now substituting the value of m equals to 1 into the temperature equation, that is T by T0 equation. Let's see what happened. So that becomes T0 by T star, T0 by T star is equals to 1 plus gamma minus 1 by 2 into 1 square. So that becomes 1 plus gamma minus 1 by 2. Okay, by substituting m equals to 1 into this equation, that we all know that is T0 by T equation. So here we have written T0 by T star, we get this value. Okay, so by simplifying we get, that is 1 second. By again simplifying we get T star by T0 equals to 2 by gamma plus 1. Now we know the relation between the temperature and pressure in case of this in adiabatic flow. So let's write the pressure relation, that is P star by P0 is equals to T star by T0 to the power gamma by gamma minus 1, or that is equals to, now we are going to substitute the value of T star by T0, this value into this equation. So we get 2 by gamma plus 1 to the power gamma by gamma minus 1. So this is the relation between P star by P with the gamma. Okay, now since the gamma is a specific heat ratio, so for air we know, for air the value of gamma is 1.4. For air gamma is 1.4. So the value of P star to P0, the value of P star to P0, by substituting the gamma value we get 0.528. This is the value of P star to P0 for air. Okay, this is air. The gamma value is 1.4. Now again let's see for another fluid. For helium, the value of gamma is gamma equals to 1.67 for helium. So the value of P star by P0 becomes P star by P0 in case of helium becomes 0.487. Okay, so since if we assume, if that is the steam expands in the nozzle by following the isentropic law isentropically, so we get that is PV to the power K is equals to constant. This K value, K is not Cp by Cv. That means K is not the ratio of specific heat. Okay, K is a different thing. Okay, so K is a constant. So in case of the dry saturated stream, in case of a dry saturated stream, the value of K is 1.135, and in case of superheated stream, once again it's dry saturated, and in case of superheated stream the value of K is 1.3 superheated. Okay, so now The similar formula we can also apply for these cases also, that is P star by P0 is equals to 2 by K plus 1 to the power gamma by gamma minus 1. Okay, the similar kind of thing. So now let's see the value of P star by P0 in case of superheated stream and in case of dry saturated stream. So the value of P star by P0 in case of dry saturated stream is 0.577, that is dry saturated, and we already know the value of K in case of dry saturated is 1.135, and in case of superheated stream the value of P star by P0 is 0.546, that is superheated, and the value of K in case of superheated stream is 1.3. So in this lecture we have learned about the critical pressure ratio and choked flow, and also we have find out the relation between the critical pressure and the stagnation pressure. Okay, in the next lecture we will learn about the flow in steam nozzle, the nozzle efficiency, the flow area of nozzle, this kind of thing. Okay, so thank you.